Bolivia a las 7:30. TBD. All right, all right. So glad to have everyone's attention. Before we actually start with the warm-ups, almost forgot, while we still have Gary with us, who's gonna head out in just a bit to take photos of our friends that are doing hills. We're gonna get together for a quick group shot while we're still looking nice and fresh. All right, they're gonna be like, wow, they look this good after working out. Amazing. So we can all get together. Okay, we can get nice and close. Yep. Down away. Yeah. All right.
Ready on 3. 1, 2, 3.
No name. Uno más. Right? Wow, yeah. Clap it up for us.
On 3. 1, 2, 3.
No name. All right. Woo. Stats. Okay, so my name is Dennis. I've been with No Name for 4 years now. My background. Oh, where do we start? So I've been pacing the New York City Marathon seasons. You guys can have a seat. We're gonna start on the mats anyways. But I started pacing in 2015. That's how I know Julia. Back when we were pacing with Nike. So I used to pace the 3-hour marathon group here in New York City for a little over a decade. Then I decided to step away from pacing and focus more on training and strength training, which goes hand in hand with what I do as my full-time job. I'm a physical therapist assistant at Resilience Physical Therapy, formerly at New York Presbyterian, working with people right after orthopedic surgery. So ACL repairs, knee replacements, hip replacements. And now I am self-employed and work by myself as a trainer, coach, therapist, just a little bit of everything. And then I like to run marathons on my free time. So I'm in the process of knocking off all 50 states. So I'm almost halfway. Hopefully, maybe by next season, I'll be halfway. Yeah, I'm getting ready for a marathon in about 2 weeks as well, which will be my 3rd for the year. And so I'm like almost 40 marathons in, I think, at this point. So it's been a while. So I'm just sharing a lot of things that I've picked up from the textbook, but also in my own personal training. So I've been fortunate enough to have very few, if any, injuries over the last decade and a half. And so I just want to share what's worked for me. And yeah, if you have any questions about any injuries that have maybe plagued you in the past or currently, we can talk later, or in the future, you can find me on Instagram at dynamo_D, or my email, which I'm not sure is in the emails, but whether or not it is, we can talk a little bit more after and kind of get you guys ready for whatever marathons you're doing. Yeah, clap it up. Is anyone running their first marathon this season? First one? Okay. All right, 2, 3, 4. Okay. Nice. All right, give yourselves a hand. So some of you are already in the position that we're going to get started in, and that's in this kneeling position. I like to start by warming up the toes and the ankle. It's the foundation of obviously our body, and the most important thing when we're running. So we're going to, from this kneeling position, we're just going to sit on our heels with the feet flat, come back up, curl the toes beneath you, sit back on your heels, feel the stretch on the sole of your foot and the big toe. And we're just going to alternate back and forth about 8 more times. All right, just back and forth. Feel the stretch of the big toe. When the toes are flat and you sit on your heels, you might feel a stretch at the top of the foot, at the knee, the hip, especially if you lean back a little bit, okay? If you're not feeling that much of a stretch, if you sit back and lean back, then you'll feel, again, the shins a little bit more, which I really like. If anyone's has dealt with shin splints in the past, has anyone dealt with posterior tib tendon issues? That's the arch of the foot, the inside of the calf. Anyone that's ever dealt with Achilles issues, this is how I like to start off pretty much every class that I teach. Yeah, it's just a good way to warm up the knees, the hips, and the feet all at once. Okay. From here, we're gonna get in a tabletop position. Wrist, elbows, and shoulders are in line. Hips and knees are in line, and we're just gonna arch your back, take a deep inhale, and look up at the ceiling. And then exhale, chin to chest, round the spine as much as you can. And we're just gonna alternate between these two just 4 more times. Okay, some people may have been sitting for a good amount of the day. Some people carry a lot of stress, whether in their backpack or just from the week. So I like to really focus in on the breath and just pushing away from the floor while keeping the palms flat. So the shoulder blades are separating and they're coming together, and they're separating and coming together. Okay, we're just gonna do 1 more time, and then we're gonna continue with some hip cars. Okay, so right after this last cat-cow, we're gonna begin by extending one leg, rotating the hip away from the floor like a big hip circle, and then bringing it around, trying to keep the elbows straight, big hip circle, trying to point the knee to the wall as you bring the leg around, and we'll do 2 more times before going in the opposite direction. Okay, so what we're trying to do here is we're trying to get the head of the femur to move in every part of that hip socket joint. Okay, hip car stands for, probably gonna forget it, but it just stands for controlled articular rotation. If anyone wants to nerd out or kind of learn what some of this lingo is, it stands for controlled articular rotation. Articular is just the joint. So we're trying to get every part of that bone to touch the hip socket, move it around. Okay, so now we're gonna switch to the opposite side. Okay, so now we're gonna do the left. Extend, rotate the hip away from the floor so that it's pointing almost at 90 degrees. And then extend again, rotate 90 degrees, nice and slowly. Okay, and now we're gonna go in the opposite direction. Okay, and that means going out to the side first, rotate, point the knee down, and then bring it around. Okay, we're gonna do that for about 2 more times, and then we'll switch to our next mobility exercise. Okay, if you've ever felt hip stiffness or tightness, this is one of my go-tos. Okay, from here, we're gonna continue with, we're gonna get in a half kneeling position. You're gonna grab your weight. From this half kneeling position, you're gonna position that front leg a little bit to the diagonal. And then that back leg, you're gonna swing towards that side. Okay, you're gonna hold the weight vertically or horizontally, okay, with elbows straight. And then you're just gonna lean forward towards that front leg. Okay, you should feel a little bit of a stretch in the inner hips. Okay. Okay, does anyone not feel this? It's okay. Okay, we're just gonna rock back and forth just 2 more times, and then we're gonna switch sides. All right. Another one of my go-to hip mobility exercises. You don't necessarily need a weight, but you'll feel it a little bit more if you do. Okay, so now we're gonna switch sides. Half kneel, a little bit to the diagonal, swing that back leg towards the front leg. Okay, keeping the shoulders down and the elbows straight. You're just gonna shift your weight towards that front leg, keeping the trunk upright. Okay, so we're not leaning forward in a slouched posture, but nice and tall, as coach likes to talk about being tall, right? Okay, we're just gonna do 1 more, and then we can set that weight off to the side. Okay, we're gonna get in that, oh, careful. In that deep lunge position, you're gonna place your right hand inside of that left foot. Extend that back knee so that it's off of the mat. You're gonna rotate towards that front leg and look towards the ceiling. And then get that shoulder inside of that front leg and look away from that front leg. And then we're just gonna go back and forth, rotating towards that front leg, feeling that in the glute, maybe a little bit of the low back and the neck. And then we're just gonna go back and forth. When you turn away, you might feel that inner thigh a little bit more. Okay, we're gonna go 2 more times. And then we'll switch sides. 2, other side now. Okay. Deep lunge, left hand inside of that right foot, rotating towards that front leg, hand to the ceiling, looking down that thumb, shoulder inside of that front leg, look away, back and forth. We're just gonna go 2 more times. And then we're gonna lie flat on the mat. Okay, for our final mobility exercise, one of my also go-tos for any back and neck, any spinal issues, stiffness, tightness. You're gonna gently push away from the mat, and you're only gonna come up as high as feels comfortable before you look over your right shoulder and try and find your left heel. And gently turning to the opposite side, looking over the left shoulder and trying to find your right heel. Okay, this is as much for the neck as it is for the middle and low back. Again, you're only gonna come up off of the mat as high as feels comfortable. So not everyone is gonna come up at the same height, and that's okay. Okay, if it's too high, you're more than welcome to just relax your forearms on the mat as well, if your arms get tired. Okay, we spend a lot of our day on the computer, on the phone. And so this is a nice way to open up the chest so that when we're running, we're not running like this, slouched over. But again, that tall and upright posture is gonna allow us to breathe better and move better. Okay, so we're gonna start off with our first of 2 activations. First one we're gonna start off with is a bird dog. So from that tabletop position, you're gonna extend your right hand and your left foot. You're gonna reach for the back wall with your heel, not your toe. And you're gonna reach with the front to the front wall with I like doing a fist. You can also use your fingertips, whichever one feels comfortable. And you're gonna look straight down. We're gonna hold this for 20 seconds, starting now, looking straight down. You might even feel a little bit of a stretch at the base of your neck. Okay, if you're struggling to hold this position without wobbling a little bit, then this is something that you should practice on your own as well. Okay, we're practicing some trunk stability, which is very important for preventing all injuries. Okay, now we're gonna switch sides. 3, 2, 1, and up, keeping the back flat, looking straight down, reaching for the back wall with the heel, not with the toes, keeping that back knee straight. Front elbow is straight. Nice, deep breaths. We're just gonna go for 5 more seconds here, and then we'll come back to the tabletop position. Okay, back to that tabletop position. Now we're gonna engage the arms and the shoulders. So from that tabletop position, you're gonna push through your hands and your toes just enough to lift your knees off of the mat 1 to 2 inches. And we're gonna hold that position for 20 seconds, starting now. Okay, elbows should be straight. Okay, we're engaging those shoulders, those arms, and the core. Okay, the back should be totally flat, and we're just gonna hold this for 3 more seconds. 3, 2, 1, and time. All right. You doing okay? We haven't even gotten to the good stuff yet. All right, we're gonna start off with our first round of plyometrics. I always like to introduce a little bit of plyometrics. Okay, to work on that bone and tissue health, to get them strong with all that pounding. We spend a lot of time in heavily cushioned shoes, so this is just a nice time to really build that foot strength, foot and ankle strength. So we're gonna start off with very basic move, just some pogos. So you're gonna keep the knees straight. We're gonna explode through the ankles, just like this. Okay, we're just gonna go for 20 seconds now. Okay. Very, very basic, very simple. And then we're gonna get into a plank position and we're gonna utilize the dumbbell that we have there, okay? In 3, 2, 1, and time. We're gonna get down onto the mat and we're gonna practice a plank with dumbbell drag. So from that plank position, you're gonna grab your weight with your right hand from the left side to the right side, then place the right hand down and grab it from your left side, from the right side to the left side with the opposite hand. Okay, we're gonna go in 3, 2, 1. We're gonna go for 20 seconds, trying to keep the hips below the shoulders. Okay, as best you can. You're gonna grab the weight with the opposite hand, so you're pulling the weight from across your body. Okay, just for 3 more seconds. 2, 1, time. And now we're gonna stand on up. Round 2 of the pogos. If that felt a little bit easy, that first plyometric exercise, then what we're gonna do, actually we're gonna keep it the same. We're gonna go 20 seconds. Again, 3, 2, 1, and go. Okay. This is one of the return to sports things for anyone dealing with an Achilles injury, inner calf, toes. You should be able to leave the ground and not experience any pains. Okay, and time. All right, we're gonna get back down onto the mat for round 2. All right, in 3, 2, 1, and we're off again, trying to keep the hips below the shoulders. At the very least, shoulder height. Okay. Just gonna go for about 6 more seconds here. Breathe in 3, 2, 1, and time. All right. We're gonna stay keeping with the plyometrics. Second exercise we're gonna do. We're gonna go to one side of the mat. We're gonna jump to the side. All right, so when we stand on one side of the mat, we're gonna jump to the other side, land on one foot. The opposite leg is gonna go behind, and we're just gonna go back and forth. These are called skater hops. We're just gonna go back and forth, okay, as wide as feels comfortable, okay? So just be mindful of your partner, of the person next to you, and we're gonna go for 20 seconds, starting now. Left, right. Okay, the opposite leg is gonna stay in the air, so you're only ever on one foot. Okay, we're working a little bit of balance, a little bit of coordination here. Okay, we have to be able to control that left to right movement of the foot that we land on. Just for 2 more seconds here. And time. Now we're gonna get back down onto the mat. We're gonna get in a modified side plank position. So that's knees bent, forearm on the side, and we're gonna keep that arm close to you. You're gonna push away from the mat with that forearm to just high enough to lift your hips off of the mat. And then with that arm, you're gonna swing the arm slowly and under control through the arm and then back. And we're just gonna rotate like that back and forth for 20 seconds, starting now. Looking underneath the armpit, following the hand, just for 10 more seconds here. Okay, we're gonna do this 1 more time after this. 3 more seconds and we're switching sides. All right, other side now. For the second round that we do this, if this felt easy, then you can straighten the knees and pick up the knees off of the mat. But for now, we're gonna keep the knees bent. 3, 2, 1, other side now. Looking underneath the armpit, extending the arm to the ceiling. Back and forth, always pushing away from the mat with that forearm as much as possible. Keep those hips up. just for 5 more seconds. We're gonna get up and do our skater hops right now, and time. All right, round 2 of the skater hops. All right, in 3, 2, 1, go. From side to side, just gliding across the mat. Okay, we're just gonna go for 10 more seconds here before we do our second round of the side plank rotations. 3, 2, 1. All right. Down to the mat for our second and last of this superset. So as I said earlier, if that felt easy for you, then you're gonna straighten the knees and have that bottom foot resting on top of that top foot. And we're gonna keep it like this. Otherwise, we're gonna do exactly the same as before in keeping the knees bent. So, okay, so this is totally up to you. We're gonna start in 3, 2, 1, either knees bent and only hips off of the ground, or knees straight and the hip is off of the ground. Whatever you can do. Whatever you can do under control. All right. 1, 2, switching sides, right on time. Right on time. Okay, we're gonna go just for 20 seconds here. Then we're gonna take a brief water break before we get into the weighted exercise. Okay, now 3, 2, 1, time. All right, we're gonna take a quick 30, 45-second water break. So again, hopefully you have some water by your side. If you need to step out and get some water, you're more than welcome to. Just try and make it a little bit quick so that we can continue with this flow that we have. Good go. Good go. Good go. Oh, it's always goal number 1. Right? Don't get hurt. Okay, we're gonna start off with the first exercise. So in keeping with my theme of getting started from the bottom first, we're gonna start in a staggered stance. So left leg in front, right foot back, only the tip of the toes are touching. And then we're gonna lean forward. So most of your weight is on that front leg. One thing I forgot to mention, you're gonna have your weight in hand, vertically or horizontally. You're gonna lean forward, again, putting most of your weight in that front leg. And then from there, you're just gonna rotate a little bit to the left, a little bit to the right. And we're gonna do that for a total of 25 seconds, starting now. Okay, so we're working a little bit of that balance, of that control of left to right. Okay, this is one of the exercises that I like to recommend to people with dealing any sort of foot injury. This is a good place to start. Balance is of utmost importance. We're just gonna go for 5 more seconds here, and then we're gonna switch sides. Okay, and we can switch sides now. Okay, 3, 2, 1. Opposite side. So again, most of your weight is on that front leg. You're peering over that front foot, and then we're just gonna rotate left to right, only as much as you can without losing your balance. So if you are going to the left or to the right and you're starting to lose your balance, stop right there. We don't need to fall into anyone. Okay, and time. Okay, we're gonna keep that weight in your hands. Don't put it down. We're gonna get in a wide stance, double hip width apart. We're gonna shift your weight towards the left side, and then that right foot is gonna turn out. You're gonna feel that a little bit of a stretch in the inner right thigh, and then come back to center, shift to the left, rotate that right foot out, and then back. Okay, these are called Cossack squats, C-O-S-S-A-C-K. It's kind of like a lateral lunge, except that opposite foot is gonna rotate out. Okay, and then back to center. Okay, we're gonna go for 20 more seconds here. Shift to the to one side, rotate that opposite foot, and back. Shift to the left, rotate that opposite leg out. Okay. We're just gonna go for 5 more seconds here. We're gonna switch sides in 3, 2, 1. Okay, and switching sides. We're gonna keep going for 25 seconds. Okay. And I'm just gonna start walking around just to make sure that everyone has a grasp on the exercise. From what I can tell, okay, most of you guys are doing pretty good, okay? You can try and get a little bit deeper, okay? Yeah, and then turn out, okay? Yeah, there you go, Jessica, that's it. Okay, and time. Last one, you're gonna hold the weight in your right hand, right leg in front, left leg in back. We're gonna get in a lunge position, and then you're just gonna raise that front heel as high as you can for 25 seconds, starting now. Okay. The knee does not move. Nothing moves but the heel here. Okay, static lunge position. My head is not going up or down. My knee is not moving up or down. It's just the heel comes up off of the ground. And now switching sides. Whew, yeah. You can let out a woo if you need to. That helps. Okay, so holding the weight in the opposite hand now. Left hand, left leg in front. Just raising the heel, pushing through the big toe as high as you can. We're just gonna go for 15 more seconds here. Keep the trunk upright, okay? If this is too challenging down here, just come up a little bit higher. And then from there, just gonna keep raising the heel, pushing through the big toe, okay? And time. All right, round one. We're gonna go through one more round, then we'll take a quick 30-second water break, okay? So starting from the first exercise, holding the weight horizontally or vertically, staggered stance, holding the weight, rotate from left to right. Again, 90% of your weight should be on that front foot. All right. And we're going. So we got about 15 more seconds here. Nice. I should see a little bit of ankle movement in the front. If this feels too easy, all you got to do is put less weight through that back foot. Maybe even pick it up off of the ground. That's only for more advanced. That's pretty hard. All right. All right, okay, good. Now we can switch sides. Okay. And we're going. Okay, peering over that front foot. Rotating from side to side. I feel this even without a weight. So the more you lean forward, the more your trunk is in a perpendicular position to that standing leg, the harder it's going to be. All right, good. Keeping the weight in hand, double the hip width apart, left side only, Cossacks. Shift your weight to the left. You're going to open up, point that right foot away from you, and then come back. Okay, shift your weight to the left, and then open up that right foot. Might feel a little, you should feel a little bit of a stretch in that inner right thigh, and then you're going to feel that left quad muscle as you shift your weight over there. Okay, we're just going to go for about 10 more seconds here, and then we'll switch sides. Okay, good. Okay, in 3, 2, 1, we can switch sides now. Okay, this is a good way to build inner hip strength, some hip mobility for those that need it. This is one of my favorites, one of my go-tos. Okay, in about 10 seconds now, we'll take a brief pause, get some water, and then after that, we're gonna go for 2 more rounds before we switch exercises, okay? And time. All right, and last exercise is a static lunge heel raise, holding the weight in your right hand, right foot forward, left foot back. In that lunge position, raising that front heel as high as possible, starting now for 20 seconds. Okay, keeping that trunk upright, so now we're not leaning forward anymore. Now, upright. Okay, raising that heel as high as possible. Okay, just gonna go for 10 more seconds here. Everyone's looking good, pushing through that big toe. Very good, excellent. Okay, we're switching sides now. Okay, this exercise I like a lot for anyone dealing with any sort of foot injury. Again, Achilles injury, post tib. That's the arch of the foot, inner foot, inner calf muscle. This is a nice safe exercise. If you're struggling to run without pain, this is an exercise that I would definitely recommend. Okay, all right, and time. We're gonna take a brief 45-second rest, grab some water. All right, and then we're gonna get started from the top. Just 2 more rounds, 2 more times of each exercise before we switch the exercises up to some three different exercises. All right, that's gonna be focusing a little bit more on the backside. All right, these muscles, these exercises we've been focusing on is more foot and ankle, a little bit in that quad for that lunge position. Okay, all right, everyone's ready. All right, good, everyone's ready to go. All right, here we go. So from the top, staggered stance, holding the weight in front of you. Yep. Okay, and we're off. So nice and slowly, left to right. Okay, as I said, if you need to make this a little bit easier, harder, you just pick up that back leg off of the floor, which is going to be quite challenging. Okay, nice and slow. Don't go too fast that you get a little bit dizzy. Okay, and switching sides now. If you find one side easier than the other, don't worry, you're not abnormal. It's not uncommon for one side to be stronger than the other. Okay. So similar to another exercise that we do here sometimes, which is just standing on one leg and then rotating away from that standing leg. Okay. Really emphasizing that inner foot, inner calf there. All right. And now switching to the Cossack squats again, double hip width apart, shifting your weight to one side, rotating that foot away, and then back to center. Okay. I always like to include some sort of squat in each class that I teach, whether it's a Cossack squat, a curtsy squat, a goblet squat. Gotta have to be able to load the quads. Very important for when we're obviously going downhill or just being able to endure the entirety of the marathon. Okay, we can switch sides now. Other side, excellent. Okay, by third round, hopefully you're able to get a little bit lower than you did the first 2 rounds. Okay, you should be able to feel a little bit of a hip opening here. Okay, we're gonna go just a couple more times and we'll finish off this round with the static lunge heel raises, and then we'll do each one more time. All right, and switching to the static lunge heel raises, right leg in front, holding it in the right hand, lifting the heel as high as possible, trunk upright. Okay. Always important to include some sort of calf, ankle strengthening exercises. For the distance runner, the calf is one of the most important muscles that we're using because the knee is not coming up that high. For sprinters, it's a little bit more hips, glutes, right? Distance runners, we're using that calf a lot. Okay, so that's why it's so important. Now we can switch sides. Okay, it's important to work the calf with the knee straight, with the knee bent. 2 big muscles in that back lower leg that need to be strong enough to withstand injury, right? To prevent injury and withstand 26 miles. All right, and time. Back to the top. Last round of each exercise. By now, you guys should be pros with each and every one of these, right? No, I'm joking. It's okay. Again, we're going to start again with the staggered stance rotation. All right. These are all exercises, by the way, that we start off with in the clinic whenever we're dealing with a foot and ankle injury. Again, to make this a little bit easier, you just come up a little bit straighter, a little bit harder. You're going to look a little bit lower at the ground and or pick up that back leg off. And this is going to be kind of the same thing. Okay, switching sides. Okay, last time of these. These may seem a little tedious now, but I hope no one here ever develops any inner foot pain, calf pain. If you do, though, you'll know where to start. This is a pretty safe exercise. Okay. All right, switching to the last round of the Cossack squats. Should be hopefully be able to get pretty low on these now. All right, shifting our weight to one side. That opposite foot rotating away. Okay, one more time. And switching sides now. Shift to the opposite leg. Very good. And 5 more seconds here. And time. All right, switching to the last exercise. Static lunge, heel raise. Raising that heel as high as possible, pushing through the big toe. If it's too hard, just come up a little bit higher. Okay, we got a little bit more than 15 seconds left before we switch sides. Okay, you know to make it harder, get a little bit lower, easier, come up a little bit higher. Heel still comes up as high as possible, no matter how bent the knees are. Okay, we can switch sides now. For the last time, then we'll take another quick water break if necessary. Otherwise, we will just jump into the next group of exercises. Okay, we're gonna go for about 15 more seconds here. Okay, in 3, 2, 1, and time. All right, we're gonna start the next round on the mat. Okay, so whether you need some water or not, you can take a little rest on the mat. We're gonna do a little bit of arms. Okay. In just a few seconds, as soon as everyone's ready, we're gonna start from this half kneeling position. You're gonna grab your weight, and then we're gonna press knuckles to the ceiling. When you press, the end position should be the arm by the ear. Okay, so that if that left leg is in front, that right arm, it should be inside of that shoulder. So kind of like you're in a phone booth. So you don't want the weight out here. You want it close to you, straight up, straight down, not out to the side. The further away the weight is from center, the more dangerous it could be for developing some shoulder injury. Okay, so we're just gonna go for 20 seconds. Knuckles to the ceiling, up, down, up, down. Okay, excellent. Nice job, locking out the elbow. Arm should finish right by the ear where you can't see your arm. Okay, we're just gonna go for 5 more seconds here. 3, 2, 1, and switching sides now. And up and press, locking out the elbow. Again, you wanna keep the weight close to you inside that phone booth, not out here. Okay, that's where things can get a little bit uncomfortable and potentially dangerous. Elbow straight up. Okay, we're gonna go for 5 more seconds here. 3, 2, 1. We're gonna slip on the band above the knees now. We're gonna lie on your left side in that side plank position. Everyone's favorite here. Some of these bands are very, very tough. So for this exercise, if this exercise is too challenging with the band on, you have my blessing to take off the band and do it without the band. But we're gonna get in this side plank position. Bottom knee is bent and touching the mat. That top leg is straight, and you're just gonna lift up that top leg as high as you can, and then right back down. Okay? Keeping that bottom hip up if possible. If it's not possible, you can just lie on your side on your forearm. Okay, we're just gonna go for about 10 more seconds here. If you can keep the hips, the bottom hip off of the ground, excellent. And if not, that's okay. Switching sides now. Okay, you should feel this on the obliques of the side that's closest to the mat. That's helping you stay upright. Okay, core strength, super important. Okay, in 3, 2, 1, opposite side now. Okay, if your bottom hip is touching the mat, then you should have the band on. Okay. So you're either the hip is off of the mat or you're on the mat and you're using the band. Okay. And time. You can, yeah, that one burns a little bit. Yeah. Okay, we can slip the band off now. You're gonna lie on your backs now with the knees bent. Okay. If you're familiar with the glute bridge, that's essentially the position we're gonna start off with. You're gonna turn the toes up so that you're on your heels. You're gonna lift up your hips, and then you're just gonna take about 2 steps with your heels, toes pointed up in the air, and then back, keeping your hips off of the mat the entire time. Okay, we're gonna go for 25 seconds here. Hips are up the entire time, just taking 2 steps forward on the heels on each side, and then walking them back. Okay, if you need to rest your hips down onto the mat in between each rep, that's perfectly okay. We're just gonna go for 10 more seconds here, and then we'll start from the top with the half kneel overhead press. Okay, in 3, 2, 1, and breathe. Okay, we're gonna go through one more round. Then we're gonna take another quick 30-second rest water break before we do it 2 more times after that. And then we'll begin our cool down. Okay, so from the top, half kneeling position. Get your weight inside that shoulder, inside that phone booth. Opposite arm can either go out to the side for balance or on your hip, whichever one feels more comfortable. And press, knuckles up, locking out the elbow at the top. Okay, we're just gonna go for 20 seconds here. A little bit less than what we do for the lower legs. We don't need the arms quite so defined as our legs for when we're running, right? Just enough that it helps us with our arm swing, with our posture. And switching sides now. Again, don't have the weight out here. Inside the shoulder is gonna be the safest option. Okay, and up and down. Exhaling as you push up, inhaling as the weight is coming back down. If you're struggling at any point to lift the weight, if you squeeze the glute of that side that's doing the pressing, that's gonna help you raise the dumbbell as well. Okay, and we can rest the weight, slip on the band. You're gonna get onto your left side, bottom knee is bent. Top leg is straight. Okay, again, these bands are very tough, so if it's too hard to lift the leg up against the band, you can slip the band off, but if you do that, then you have to make sure that the bottom hip is off of the mat, okay? All right, in 3, 2, 1, bottom hip is up off of the mat, and you're lifting that leg just high enough that there's some tension against the band, and then back down, all under control, pushing hard into the mat with your forearm as possible. We're just gonna go for 10 more seconds here. Nice and controlled. Okay. If you're struggling with this exercise, again, you can just lie on your forearm, keep that bottom hip on the mat, okay? If you're struggling with this one. Okay, we're switching sides now. All right, and up. Going for 25 seconds here. Nice, under control. Bottom knee's bent, top leg is straight. Okay, everyone's looking good. Home stretch here. And time, you can slip off the band, lie on your back, take a couple of deep breaths. Almost there, almost there. Okay, lying on your back, knees bent, toes pointed to the ceiling, on your heels, pick up your hips, walking out on the heels. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then back 1, 2, 3, 4, keeping the hips up the entire time. Keep going for about 10 more seconds here. And then we're gonna take a quick water break right after that, okay? This exercise I like a lot for anyone dealing with a hamstring strain or any sort of glute or knee issues. This one I like a lot. While both hips, both hamstrings working in different ways here. Okay, and rest. Again, quick water break here, and then we're just gonna go 2 more rounds before we wrap it up. Okay. Yeah, catch your breath. Yeah. Everyone's doing good. You guys doing good. Yes. Other than New York. So Boston is the one that got me into marathoning from the beginning. That was always goal number 1. But in terms of scenery, probably Utah. We started at like 9,000 feet and we just kind of ran down the mountain. But in 2 weeks, we'll be doing the toughest marathon that I've done to date, which is a Pikes Peak Marathon, which goes up 8,000 feet to the top and then 8,000 feet down. So it's 13 miles uphill, 13 miles downhill. So I will report back because I believe I'm teaching the Thursday after that. So stay tuned. All right. Beginning with that first exercise from that half kneeling position. Okay. Weight in the opposite side of that front leg. And going for 20 seconds now. Press, locking out the elbow. Excellent. Everyone's form is flawless with this one. Okay, just about 5 more seconds here. Locking it out. And last one, switching sides now. Okay, very good. Locking out. Nice, slow, deep breaths. 3 more seconds here. Last rep. And then the side planks. I know. I have a love-hate relationship with the side planks. They're so good for you. They are very, very tough though. So, okay. Again, if it's too hard with the band, you can do it without the band. Okay, in 3, 2, 1. Okay, going for 20 seconds here. Okay. Trying as best you can to face the wall. Okay, have your chest, have your gaze facing the wall and not the floor as best you can. Okay, switching sides now. Other side. Okay, home stretch, home stretch. And we're off. Okay. Right after this one, we're going to turn onto your backs. Okay, in just about 10 seconds here. All right, should be really feeling this in the obliques and the glutes and the hips and the arms. All right, and on your back, you can slide off the bands. Once we get through this heel bridge walkout, okay, if you wanted to know the name, heel bridge walkout. We're gonna have just one more round after this, okay? And on your backs, lifting the hips and up, toes pointed up so that you're on your heels. 1, 2, 3, 4, forward. 1, 2, 3, 4, backwards. And repeat. Okay, you're just gonna go 15 more seconds here. 10, keeping those hips up the entire time. 5, 3, 2, 1, and time. Okay, one more round. We're still on good time, 7:57. All right, we're still good. Take a couple extra breaths if you need. Okay, last one. Okay, and we're off. Half kneel, overhead press. Nice, exhale as you're reaching for the ceiling. Nice. 10 more seconds here. Okay, and other side, switching sides now. Okay, 3, 2, 1, switching sides. So the weight should be in opposite as the leg that's in front. Should feel a little bit more balanced. Yeah, there you go. Okay, just 10 more seconds here. Okay, and down. You can slide on the band for this last time. And then no more side planks for the rest of tonight. Unless you want to do it at home, you know. Okay, last one. Starting now, 20 seconds. Let's make this the best set. Last set, best set. Okay, just gonna go for 10 more seconds here. Keep those hips up. Okay, I know those obliques, you should be feeling those obliques right now. Okay, switching sides now. Last time of the side planks. Okay. 3, 2, 1. If you don't have a band at home, you can do this without a band and just aim for a couple more seconds. Or you could also do it with both knees straight and both hips and knees off of the mat. That's another alternative. Okay, 5 more seconds here. 3, 2, 1, and time. Okay, and we're sliding the band off of the knees, off to the side, lying on your back. We'll take 2 deep breaths before this last round. Just 25 seconds. Okay, in 3, 2, 1, and up. 25 seconds here. If you haven't been here before, I like to end each class with 3 minutes of meditation or deep breathing. You're just going to get in the position that's most comfortable for you, whether it's sitting crisscross applesauce or just lying on your back. Some people like to rest their legs up against the wall. And time. Yeah, you can let out a nice deep breath. Great job. As I said, we like to end each class starting the recovery now. As soon as that last rep is over, you can take a couple sips of water. End your workouts if you were recording it on your watch, so that we're not hearing any beeps during this quiet time. And So I invite you to close your eyes if you so choose. Just relax. Forget about the week. It's coming tomorrow. It's coming Saturday. Guys can slowly begin to open up your eyes. That concludes our class for this evening. Thank you all so much for coming. I hope you guys took something away from it. Excuse me. Again, if you guys have any questions about tonight's workout or any aches, pains, injuries, training in general, you're welcome to reach out to me via Instagram or email, whatever is most convenient for you. Next week, we will not be having class because we will be having fashion show, right? Week after. Sorry, got a little ahead of myself. We're still here next week. Okay. I'll still be here next week. I won't be here the following week. I won't be here for the fashion show. I'll miss the fashion show, unfortunately. But yeah, if you guys don't mind placing the weights and the bands in the back in the back, and then we should have some wipes in that black container on that back table. All right.